That is unbelievably low. I'm going to keep that low just as an example, so I can show my stepson how ridiculously low. Now, so there's the action set. As I said, never had a guitar with an action that low, but let's leave it there for now, just for fun. Okay, so now what we're looking at is the intonation. And the way you do it is this: you ping the harmonic on the 12th fret, and don't talk at the same time, but what you're aiming to do is get that in tune. Once you've got that in tune, then you fret the note at the 12th fret. So you ping it, make sure it's in tune, and then fret the note. And it should be the same note, and this very sensitive tuner will tell you if it isn't. So we'll take a little time to get the thing tuned on the harmonic first. Very sensitive. You notice I'm damping all the other strings off. Close. Near enough. Just a bit high, but. Okay, so what you're seeing and hearing is that the 12th fret fretted is slightly sharp compared to the harmonic. It's not bad actually. You can tell because we're still not quite, give it a little pull. Okay, that's on the mark, right? So tiny bit sharp on the fretted, but close enough. I'd almost be tempted to leave that because somebody's already done this by the looks of it. But in principle what you do is if the fretted note is sharp, it means that your string length between the nut here and the bridge here is too short, tiny bit too short. So you use your screwdriver and you go to the screw at the back of the bridge and you tighten it or turn it backwards, whichever way, to pull, in this case, the bridge saddle backwards a little bit. As we do that, our note will naturally become sharper because it's pulling the whole thing back and tightening it. So we'll lose the original E. We'll have to slightly tune that again. I think that's spot on. I'm going to leave that right there. Now we go to B. Still probably got a bit of slack in these strings because they're new. Notice when I pulled it, it went down. There you are, that's spot on. Now fret the 12th. That's slightly sharp, but as near as makes no difference. That's pretty much spot on. So, point being is the guy who's, or girl who's had this before me, again slightly sharp, so we're going to take that back a tiny bit. The person who's had this before me has done a good job setting the intonation. Come back out with that a tiny bit. You might be wondering, what's all this intonation business mean? What it means is, if your intonation is set wrong, it means you'll tune a guitar up on the open strings and it will sound, or it'll look good. Okay, that's flat. Well, so I'm going to leave that. Yeah, you tune, if your intonation is out, you tune your guitar on the open strings and it sounds perfectly in tune and it looks perfectly in tune on the tuner, and then you play a chord up here, an A or a B or something, and the intonation is set wrong, so that the notes, by the time you're playing the notes up here, they'll be out of tune and it sounds a hideous mess. So it really is important to get it right. That's why you should go through this process. Every time you change the action or make an adjustment to the truss rod or change that's quite a bit flat. That means the string is too long, which means we need to shorten it by pushing the bridge, the saddle of the bridge forward a little bit towards the nut. It'll slacken the string off for a minute. Still a bit flat. So it's easy enough to do this. You can do this yourself. If you've got an iPhone, this little app costs about £5. This tuner. I don't use any other. It's totally worth the money. Or you probably get some other kind of chromatic tuner. As long as it does this thing with the stroboscope thing, you need it that sensitive. Okay. Hard string to do this one. Flat by quite a bit, so I need to come forward with that one. Now this one looks like it's had a bit of an injury with the screw head, so I've got a problem with this one. I'm going to have a close look at it. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but straight away my screwdriver tells me that we are not going to be able to adjust this one. We're not with a Phillips head, but we might be able to with a flat head, luckily. That would have been a bit of a disaster. So it was flat, if you remember, which means we're going to need to bring the shorten the string. Okay, here we go. Crank it forward quite a bit. odd. The truth is, you should be intonating in this position. I'm breaking the rules, but I have been. Yeah, still flat, so I'm going to bring it back out some more. It's quite, you've got to be quite careful with these because it's quite easy for the screwdriver to slip. Right, let's try this. I'm going to stop there and go back, give them all a tug, and then quick one more tune. This string is very unstable at the moment because it's so new on. Everything going out of tune quickly. Need a bit more stretching of the strings really. You can see by every time I pull it, they go further out of tune. Particularly that one. Very fine strings. Well, we'll let them settle in, bed in, and And there we have it. I think, to be honest, I'm finding this action is a tiny bit too low, even for me. So I'm going to tweak that back up, but we'll call it done and dusted. There we are, the treatment done to this lovely Fender or Squier Bullet Strat. Cleaned up, electrics tested, frets leveled and polished, and new strings put on, and so it's all in good working condition. I like this one. It's a very nice creature. I'm just going to raise the action a tiny bit more, and then it'll be available for you to buy.